Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Scream 4. Sidney Prescott, now the author of a self-help book, returns home to Woodsboro on the last stop of her book tour. There, she reconnects with Sheriff Dewey and Gail, who are now married, as well as her cousin Jill and her aunt Kate. Unfortunately, Sidney's appearance also brings about the return of Ghostface, putting Sidney, Gail, and Dewey, along with Jill, her friends, and the whole town of Woodsboro, in danger. Before I get on with the review, I just want to say that I've been enjoying reviewing all of the Scream movies so far, and if you guys are new here, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be very soon doing a ranking of all the 4 movies. But without further ado, let's go on with the review. First of all, I want to say that I love the intro of this one. I think it's so funny and so clever, and it's hilarious, and I love that it's like a movie within a movie type situation with Stab 6 and 7. I think it's so funny, and I also think it's hilarious how they talk about how horror movies are so redundant sometimes, like with these franchises, because one of the girls is basically saying it's always the same thing and it's always very predictable.
There's no element of surprise. You can see everything coming.
And then boom, she gets stabbed, which I did not see coming. And then by the time it was like the actual people getting killed in the Woodsboro town, you were like, oh, is this a part of the movie, or is it real life type thing, or is it like actually happening? I just thought that whole thing was very cool, and I think that it was done amazingly. However, off the bat, I just need to talk about one of the negatives that I have with this movie, and I noticed it throughout the entire movie, and it's weird because this is like the first time that I've actually noticed this, but I just binged all of the Scream movies back to back, and I haven't done that in a very long time, so I noticed it very much. But the filter of this movie is so weird, and it kind of looks like they put smoothing on it, and it looks like a beauty commercial, but not even that. It just has weird filters on top of that and weird lighting that does not look natural whatsoever. Like even when they're outside in the daylight, it doesn't look like actual daylight, and I had never noticed that because it's been such a long time since I had seen Scream 1 through 4 all back to back, like I said. So when you go back to the first, the second, and the third, the lighting is so natural, more appealing to the eye, and this one, it was just weird. Like I was watching it and I noticed it and I'm like, what? I don't know if it's just me because I watched this movie on Hulu, so I don't know, maybe it's the version that Hulu got. But I'm gonna go back to the positives and just say that I love the characters of this movie, especially the new one. I mean, we get our survivors, Sidney, Dewey, and Gail back, and they're great as always, especially Sidney. She's still a badass, and she's still one of my favorite final girls. I love Sidney, and she's great in this one, but I really like the new characters, especially Kirby. She's my favorite, and if you guys didn't know already, which I'm pretty sure I put a spoiler warning before, this video will contain spoilers. I do want to say that I have a theory, and there's a bunch of people that theorize this, that Kirby is still alive because they technically didn't show her dead body. Like, yeah, like they did show her getting stabbed a lot, which that scene was just heartbreaking because I loved her so much, but we didn't see her actual body dead like all the other people. So I'm like hoping that maybe it's a surprise because she hasn't been announced in Scream 5, but I would love if she can make a cameo or something because I loved her so much and she was so enjoyable. And you get these group of friends have kind of similar attributes to the friend group in Scream 1, and I enjoyed that because yeah, they had the same vibe, but I still enjoyed it because it felt fresh, because they felt more modernized, obviously because it's been such a long time. We're not in the 90s anymore, and I really like that, and that goes for the whole movie. The whole movie has a really nice way of making things more modern, and I very much enjoy it, especially when it comes to the killer's motive. I thought it was awesome, and I kind of think if the movie would have even come out today, it would have made much more sense, and it was kind of ahead of its time with what it was trying to say about social media. And this movie is the bloodiest, in my opinion, out of any Scream movie, and I don't think this are the best kills, and I'll get to that in just a moment, but that first like real kill with Jill's friend, her neighbor, is just so gruesome. Like I think it's the grossest in all of the Scream movies, to be honest, and that whole scene is just fantastic.
Kirby? Kirby, come on, talk to me. This isn't funny. Kirby!
Liar. I'm over this.
I never said I was in your closet.
and it's just super gross, especially when Sydney finds her and there's blood all over the room and her guts are out. But another negative that I have with this movie is that I do think the kills in this movie are boring. This one was very awesome. I mean, it wasn't awesome for her, but you know, it was awesome to watch, especially because Scream has really awesome kills, but all of them really just felt like they were just getting stabbed. After a while, it kind of got boring with the kills in my opinion, and I kind of wish they would have had much more creative kills, and I do hope and I'm praying that in Scream 5 the kills are much more creative. I know the people that worked on Ready or Not are working on this one, had very creative kills in Ready or Not, so I'm hoping that that transfers easily to Scream 5, because I think that that's definitely something that they can use to up their game. I also want to say that I really appreciate that this movie gave more time to these teenagers, these new teenagers, rather than the old characters, because yeah, they were in the movie a lot, but they aren't really the ones that are there all the time, and we're mostly with the new characters like Jill, which I think is a fantastic character, and I enjoyed what we got from Sydney, Dewey, and Gale, but I also really liked how they mixed together with the new characters, and I thought that they had a pretty good balance there in my opinion. Speaking of Jill, I just gotta talk about her because man, was I surprised with that reveal. This is the most shocked that I've been in any reveal in my opinion, because I think they really did a good job at hiding the killers well. I think this one and Scream 2 do the best jobs at hiding the killers, because I was so shocked by both of them, but mostly this one, and we finally get a female killer, and I did not expect that whatsoever. And the thing that this movie did really well was that the whole time I'm like, oh, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this person, it could be that person, and then I'm like, wait, I just named every single one of them. By the last like 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, who the hell is the killer? And then they revealed who it was, and I was so in shock. I was even in shock with Charlie, especially after that scene where Kirby talks on the phone, which I think her acting was phenomenal, and she's giving the answers, and then she goes out and she thinks she won, and Charlie stabs her. I was just shocked, and that goes for the entire third act of this movie. I think this is where Scream 4 really has its strength, because the third act for this movie is just fantastic. And this goes with what I was saying, because her whole point is that she kind of wants to be the Sidney Prescott. She makes a whole point that in today's day and age you can do absolutely anything that is not saving the world or anything like that, and you can become more popular and more famous than that. And that's where I'm saying I think this movie was more ahead of the time. I didn't watch this movie when it first came out, so I don't know how the initial reaction was then, but I feel like today, especially with the rise of TikTok, YouTube, anybody can do absolutely anything, and I think that whole aspect of it was very interesting and definitely way more modernized, and I really enjoyed that. Overall, although the movie isn't flawless, I really love this movie, and I'm going to give this one the same grade I give Scream 2, an A. I think it's so much fun, and I always have a lot of fun watching it, and sometimes I will say that this is probably the funnest one in my opinion to watch. I think it goes by so fast, and that's not to the film's detriment at all. Right now I was watching it and I'm like, wow, this movie flew by so fast, but it gave me so much information, and a lot of it is just due to the awesome script and the awesome characters and just an awesome time. Thank you guys so much for watching this review, and I finished reviewing Scream. I did not expect to do this. I was just gonna review the first Scream, but you guys wanted me to review each of them. I had a lot of fun reviewing this, and the rain started back up again. It's going crazy out there, but I have a lot of more reviews to come, so make sure to subscribe if you're new here, and I'll make sure to see you guys next time. Bye guys.